All right, guys, thank you very much for joining the lesson. We're going to learn about who are the Sami. So let's play the video now.
When you think of the Nordic countries, what countries come to your head? Probably Iceland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, maybe even Estonia if you're so inclined. After seeing the title, you now know of the Sami people, who are indigenous to the northern part of Scandinavia. There is a lot to be said about the Sami, despite their isolation from the rest of Europe through most of their history. Today, I will explain who these people are, how they originated, and a little bit about their culture and languages. I also want to let you guys know that I'll be doing a 600 subscriber mock election special, so you guys should look out for that in the next few weeks. Anyway, I cannot give a full and accurate explanation of the Sami with at least giving a little bit of context on where they are today. Being the indigenous inhabitants of northern Fennoscandia, they number around 70,000 in the region and 80,000 globally. Most live in Norway, which has a Sami population of around 40,000, while Sweden with 20,000, Finland with 6,000, and Russia with 2,000 have much the rest of their population. The Russian Republic of Karelia and Murmansk Oblast have virtually all the Sami people living in Russia. Many Sami languages have gone virtually extinct, breaking the dialect continuum that once existed between the languages. Going back in time a little bit, the Sami languages are usually classified as being part of the Uralic group, which includes Finnish, Estonian, Hungarian, and several other languages in the northwestern part of Russia. Within the Uralic languages, the Sami languages normally are considered to have their own branch, but are considered to be closer to other Finnic languages than the Ugric languages like Hungarian or Samoyedic languages of northern Russia. Though there are some disputes about where the Sami people originated, it is usually inferred that they originated in the same location as their linguistic ancestors did. Despite this, there is much genetic difference among Sami people, and they are sometimes considered to be heterogeneous, with their culture being a way of life defined by nomadism and reindeer herding rather than a homogeneous ethnic group. In their early history, it is obvious that they had contact with other ethno-linguistic groups, including the Balto-Slavic, Germanic, and even Iranic words being borrowed into the Sami languages. They have also been recorded in Roman historical accounts, if you can believe it, and were described as semi-nomadic reindeer hunters. Interestingly enough, one of the most notable cultural traits of the Sami is their economy of reindeer herding, common amongst other Arctic cultures. Anyways, in German historical texts, they were often grouped with the Finns, not an uncommon thing to do amongst early European historians, and once again the connection between the Sami and the reindeer was noted. In the beginning of the 1000s AD, the Sami began to have contact with the Scandinavians, specifically the Norwegians and Swedes, who tried to assimilate them into their nations, especially in the matter of religion. The Sami, like nearly all European cultures, followed a local form of paganism before converting to Christianity. Throughout most of their time under the Nordic states, and also Russia later on, the use of the Sami languages was discouraged and often forbidden, and their nomadic ways became virtually non-existent, as today almost all Sami live in permanent housing. Despite this, reindeer herding still maintains a small part of the Sami economy. Beginning in the 20th century, the Nordic countries were more willing to let the Sami practice their cultural traditions, most notably allowing them to speak their languages, which are now used in many schools where Sami attend. I mentioned that before the Christian assimilation of the Sami, they had their own pagan practices, which were quite unique. The Sami worldview was mainly animistic and shamanistic, with one of the most notable customs that still continues today is being respectful to all aspects of nature, which they believe to have souls. Christianity really had a profound effect on the worldview of the Sami, as they were not aware of the concept of organized religion, and many of their ancient practices were deemed as satanic by medieval priests who encountered them, including their beliefs in future-telling shamans called Noaidi. Such practices were common amongst shamanistic cultures in the Arctic and Siberia. The Sami spiritual practices are still unique among European Christian cultures, as most have almost completely abandoned their ancient ways, though the Sami still incorporate some of those elements in their way of life. The Sami languages are spoken by around 35,000 of the 70,000 ethnic population, and the languages, which there is not a clear number of due to there not being a clear line between dialect and language, are generally similar, though not always mutually intelligible. Though it is unclear what exactly the Proto-Uralic language that the Sami and other Uralic people spoke originally, the Sami language's closest relatives are usually considered to be Finnish and Estonian, and other Baltic Finnic languages. Despite their languages not being quite as spoken today, they are still present within schools in their homelands, which encourage their use to revitalize them. The Sami have lived on the edge of Europe for their entire history, But despite this, they have developed a culture with many unique traits, even in the modern day. Their language and culture are not closely resembled by any other ethnic group, and it is a rather interesting one that deserves more recognition. Thank you all for watching. We've finally reached 600 subscribers, so thank you all for your support as I climb towards 1,000. Please continue to like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to never miss a new video from this channel. Again, watch out for that election special that'll be coming out in the next few weeks. Goodbye.
Okay, guys. So that was a little video about who the Sami people are. So the Sami people are native to Iceland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and even Estonia and Russia. So what I want you to do now is read through the transcript. Now, of course, I've sent you the link to the transcript, which you can view, or you can read it on the screen. So I'm just going to give you some time to read through this, and then we'll do some vocabulary games, and we'll go from there. All right, so I'm just going to pause the recording now whilst you read through. Okay, so now we've finished reading through the vocabulary bank and the transcript. What we're going to do is play some games so that we can learn the practical use of the vocabulary. So now we have an intransitive verb right here, which means grow. So can anybody tell me what that word might mean? We've got virtually, extinct, and originate.
Virtually.
Originate would be the right one. Well done. So the example is these languages originate from a common source. They all come from the same place, and you can trace them back to the same place. Okay, very good. So let's try another one now. Next question. All right, so this time we have an adjective, and the related word is proper. Proper. So that's not greatly helpful. Let's try a clue. So definition is having origin in a country locally. Having origin in a country or locality. And another word is native. Native.
Indigenous.
An indigenous person is a native person, someone who comes from a place. So an example here is the turkey is native to North and Central America. So the animal, the turkey, originally comes from Central America or North America. Right, now, the dodo. Here we have an adjective. The dodo is an bird. So this is a bird that is no longer around because all of them died or were killed.
Extinct.
Extinct. Yep, very good. So we've got a picture of a dinosaur there, and the definition is no longer existing as an animal species, or no longer, in the case with the Sami language, they were talking about languages being extinct. Now we have an adverb meaning near. Not massively helpful. Almost. Is that better?
Virtually.
Virtually. Very good. We expected the restaurant to be busy, but we were surprised to find it virtually empty. So almost empty. Other words could be practically, or almost completely, or very nearly. And as mentioned before, virtually can also be used when we talk about doing things online, when it's very similar to real life, but it's not real life. So virtual reality is where you can look around as if you're there, but you're not really there. Okay, the adjective and a related word is sensitive. So let's try something a bit more helpful. We have free of mistakes or error.
Accurate.
So yes, when something does not have any mistakes, when you hit something on target, then it's accurate. It can also be when something is absolutely true. We would say it's accurate. So the newspaper published an accurate report of the event, meaning it was truthful and there was no mistakes. The opposite word there is inaccurate, and a similar word would be proper. Great job, you guys. Let's try another set of words. Okay, so now we have a noun, and the word that is related to it is exception. So an exception is something that doesn't follow the same rules as everything else. So let's try another one. That could
Isolation.
be. Yes, well done. So isolation is the act of setting apart, or the state of being apart from other things or people. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, we were told to isolate at home. So stay at home, don't mix with other people so that the disease doesn't spread. A similar word is solitary, which means on your own. And the example here is he was living in almost complete isolation in a cabin in the mountains. Here is a noun, and the noun is the collective human inhabitants of an area. So this means everybody living in an area, everyone who is there.
Population?
It's population. Very good. A similar word is people. So all of the people. So who can tell me what is the population of Vietnam? Question is, how many people live in Vietnam? I think it's about 98 million. So that's the population of Vietnam. And the example is he was elected by a large majority of the population. Very good. Next, we have a noun. Now, this is a variety of a language that is
Dialect.
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 dialect. Very good. So a dialect is kind of similar to an accent, but a little different. And it's basically localized to a certain region or a social class of people, or maybe even an occupation, a job. So you might have a certain dialect when you speak, if you come from a certain place. All right, here's an example. When she moved to the North Country, it took some time to accustom herself to the dialect of English spoken there. So a North Country dialect is different to a West Country dialect. Right, citizen is the related word, and of course it's a noun. Citizen is someone who lives in a country. So what could it be?
Inhabitant.
Inhabitant.
Yes, well done. Someone who permanently lives in a place is an inhabitant of that place. Excellent job, guys. We're doing well. Okay. Yep, fantastic. Great job. Now, do you notice? So right here, we have accuracy, which is 100%. So, okay, let's move on to a different game now. So what I'd like to do, because we're a little low on time, so what I want to do is try to use them in a sentence. So we've got accurate, dialect, indigenous, originated, population, and virtually. Sentence here is Buddhism and Hinduism, both in the Indian subcontinent. So what's a word? Any idea?
Originated.
Originated. Good job. They both came from the similar place. The contractor says the house is finished and we can move in next week.
Accurate.
Nope.
Virtually.
Virtually finished. Yep. So nearly finished, virtually finished. Fantastic, guys. Now, these languages from a common source. So when we say a common source, we mean the same place, almost like how maybe two rivers that are separate could come from the same place. Any ideas?
Originated.
Originated, yep. These are languages originated from a common source. So you can see we can use the words more than once in this game.
Excuse me, the stress of the word originated for the second.
Yeah, we can use originated twice. That's no problem. Because there's 10 to go through, there's only 6 words, so we have to use them more than once. So the people of Hawaii suffered illnesses brought by missionaries and other settlers.
Population.
Not the population, but that's a good guess. So we've got people here, which means population. So we wouldn't say the population people, because that's, you know, we're using the same word twice, basically. What group of people suffered because they were already in Hawaii, and then new people came to Hawaii and they brought with them illnesses? Indigenous. Great stuff, guys. Well done. The indigenous people of Hawaii, the people who were first there. He was elected by a large majority of the...
Dialect?
No, not dialect, but a large majority. So it means most of the people. So what do we mean? What word can we use to fill that in? Most of the population. Very good, guys. Great job. Now, next one. His novel from stories about his own family. So this is someone who wrote stories, and he based them on his own life, on his own family. So the stories came from somewhere. What's the word, do you think?
Accurate?
No, not accurate. It's actually originated. Yeah, his novel originated from stories about his own family. That one's coming up a lot. When she moved to the North Country, it took her some time to accustom herself to the of English spoken there.
Dialect.
The dialect of English. Very good. The Northern dialect. Very good. She gave an description of the suspect. So she described a person and didn't make any mistakes and described them well.
Accurate.
An accurate description of the suspect. Very, very good. The turkey is to North and Central America.
Originated?
No, you could say the turkey originated from North and Central America, but we actually have the preposition to and the verb is. So we need something else in there. The turkey is...
Dialect.
Not dialect, because turkeys don't talk, as far as I know. Indigenous, that's where it comes from. Very good. We expected the restaurant to be busy, but we were surprised to find it was almost empty.
Virtually.
Virtually empty. Great job, guys. You're learning this really well. Fantastic. So the dodo is an bird. Extinct. Can you say that? Extinct. Yeah. Fantastic. Extinct. Good. The newspaper published an report of the event.
Isolation?
Not isolation. So an accurate, very good, an accurate report of the event. Yeah, very good. He was living in a cabin in the woods. So somebody who in isolation. Yeah. Yes, when you live alone, and yeah, it's impossible to enter the building without proper identification and clearance. So it's really hard to enter the building.
Virtually.
Virtually impossible. Yeah, it means it's nearly impossible. Overhunting nearly caused the American bison to become what?
Extinct.
Extinct. Yeah, very good. The famine devastated the country's
population.
People. Population. Fantastic, guys. You're learning very quickly. Excellent job. Send that off. 100% accurate. Great job, you guys. Okay, fantastic. So let's just stop that there. Okay, hold on.